Hello, hello. Welcome to the 16th episode of the Missing Piece, the Relationship Edition. And today we have David Kubes. Thank you so much, David, joining on. When I was inviting you, I had no clue what would get created out of this whole conversation. And I'm so thrilled to have you on.
Well, thank you so much for having me on this broadcast. And hello, India.
Yes. So, David, where are you from, and how long have you been doing Access and also working with Access? You're loyal to Access Consciousness, isn't it?
Yes. So I live in Vienna, Austria, and I met Access 5 years ago, and I actually didn't start the traditional Access career because I started as the international lawyer of Access. When I met Gary Douglas, we just opened the European company for all the European classes. So that was my first big job, to split up the one business into two businesses, one for Europe, one for the US. And that's how I got to know the tools of Access Consciousness, because even if you're just a lawyer for Access, it's very, very, very different. So yeah, I really started to like it. And of course, every time I had to meet Gary and Dane, I went to one of their classes, I listened to the class, and we had our meetings, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And that's how I fell in love with the tools, because I didn't only apply them to the work I did for Access. I applied them to my life. I became the tools I used. I got the sense of ease and joy, and everything was like, wow, that's awesome. I want more of it.
That is so cool, David. So every time, I look at hiring people into my business, into my team, somehow the first point of view is that they have to be within Access, or they have to understand the whole energy business. And it was like, wow, like it's such a different possibility the way Gary functions. Like, he doesn't have a point of view of who works with Access, or and
he had no point of view, but he didn't try to talk me into it. He didn't try. No, he was being who he is with no point of view. And everything he did, he was always asking me a question. He was always asking me a question. He didn't, I mean, if I work with a lot of people, I mean, I think that 50% of my current business is standard business. I have my law firm, I have an import-export company, I have a real estate development company. None of that is Access. They don't even know that I do Access, and I'm still being the tools with them, because Access is not a method that you learn. Access is a state of being, okay? It's nothing that you learn. It's not something that okay, I'm now doing Access. Access is it's a state of being, okay? It's like being kind. It's like being angry.
Yeah.
It's being in question. And you be who you are with no matter who shows up in your life.
And isn't that so cool? Because that's one of the biggest criteria that we use even in relationships. The person has to, a lot of Access people have the point of view that the person has to be within Access or understand Access. Are you there? Yeah.
Yes. So I know it's what I see, and since I'm still traveling a lot, I'm going to every advanced class of Gary and Dane, and I hear that a lot, especially women. They love to kind of manipulate their husband or boyfriend into Access, because they always think if your relationship partner does Access, the relationship is better. First of all, that's not true, because you cannot expect other people to accept you the way you are if you don't accept them who they are, okay? So that's the basic principle for me is let them be who they are, okay? Let them be who they are. The next question you can ask is, well, is it fun for you to hang out with a person who is always concerned, to hang out with a person who doesn't want to function from question? But then you can go, okay, it doesn't work for me, and then you can leave this person. But you cannot change another person. You cannot change them. Give them choice. Tell them, hey, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But don't try to change them.
Yeah, and it's not kindness to try to change them. We're always trying to get this whole space of, my way is the right way. It's my way or the highway kind of a thing.
Exactly.
And
Well, you're a woman, aren't you? It has to be that way. My way.
yeah. And I mean, it's and I am a right and wrong queen, when it comes to a lot of things, and I'm acknowledging it. I'm
Yeah.
acknowledging it and changing it bit by bit, and moments I have choices.
Yes.
And so what is your point of view? Like what? Like the episode is called, Are You Choosing to Be Benevolent in Relationships? So what is your point of view of having that
Well,
or creating that?
it gives you freedom, okay? Because when you try to change someone, or if you choose a life that doesn't work for you, you either have to fit in or you try to make someone else fit in. And that is hard work, okay? And that's the part that doesn't allow you to enjoy your living and your life and your everyday being, because you constantly either have to change yourself, try to fit in, or you are expecting someone else to fit. And that creates all this uncomfort. Having that in relationship is actually kindness to yourself and a kindness to the other person, because why would you keep something going that doesn't work? Okay. And I always say, I find a lot of questions in my classes are about relationship, and the relationship in business and the relationship with a man or a woman is kind of the same energy. You have to make a choice here, ask for clarity. And a lot of times when someone says, you know what, it doesn't work for me, it's not your fault, there's nothing wrong, it just doesn't work for me. That's the moment when you get freedom. And a lot of times that's the moment when the relationship changes, because finally it's out there. It's nobody's fault. People in relationship are afraid to be wrong or to be the one to blame on. So if you create this space where you say, hey guy, there's nothing wrong with you, it just doesn't work. I don't know if in India there are a lot of vegetarians, but being a vegetarian is a preference. There's nothing wrong. Okay, no, I just don't like meat.
Yeah.
The same energy can be with, hey, it just doesn't work for me. I'm a vegetarian, you love meat. Let's keep being friends, but relationship, why would we keep torturing each other? That creates that space of it's nobody's fault. You state what works for you, so you're kind to yourself. By telling the other person, hey, it's absolutely okay that you are who you are, it just doesn't work for me, then you're creating that, hey, it's not your fault. And that space creates freedom for everyone involved. And then you have true choice, because a lot of times there are these underlying points of view that people have where they, I don't know, whatever point of view they buy, and then they mix it into that relationship. But in that space, there is no way that you are distracted from these distractor implants. And then you can choose, okay, does it really work? And if it doesn't work, hey, we have
But
this thing.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. I'm finished.
So very often this whole bit of kindness is not really there in relationships. Like everybody's trying to get the relationship right. So recently I had a conversation with this person that I met on a dating app, and we were just having a conversation, and I was facilitating a foundation, which is my 6 a.m. Okay, so we had like 6 yes, because just for the timings to work for everybody, we were just I used to wake up at 5:30 and I used to sleep in the day. So he started making judgments like, you sleep so much. And I wish I could then, and this is the difference between man and women. Man is really responsible and women are not. And I was like, oh my, wow, that's a whole lot of judgment and a lot of interesting point of views there. But I also noticed myself, my walls going up to that. I also noticed that, I was like, I sort of didn't know. I was trying to be submissive to the energy. Like, okay, he's being really loud in my face. So how does one deal with that? Like, that is one reaction. Either I become submissive or I start fighting it. Like, no, you're wrong. And
well, how about saying, yes, I know I'm lazy?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I know. If someone says, hey, you sleep so much, yes, I know, I love sleeping.
Yeah.
One of my favorite. And that gives
Yeah.
people choice. Maybe this guy would also love to sleep a lot, but was
Yeah.
always made wrong for being lazy. And can you imagine what change you create in someone's universe for not making them wrong? And not going, oh, you're doing judgment. No, he just said you sleep a lot. Yeah, that moment, that time, yes, you slept a lot. So what?
Yeah.
Why would that be significant? Just say, yes, I know I love sleeping.
Yeah.
And that opens the space of, wow, sleeping, so many people function from if you sleep in, you're lazy.
Yeah.
So I could invite you to go beyond trying to be, go beyond that, have no point of view. And if someone says something, yeah, that's correct. Don't justify, don't react, just create a space to, yes, and so what?
Yeah.
Correct, you are correct.
Yeah.
And then leave it. If someone says, hey, you sleep a lot, yes, I know. And then leave it. Silence creates this space where people recognize that different possibilities are available. And I think that especially Indian women tend to talk other people into things rather than creating space. So if you're
Yeah.
an Indian woman and you have troubles in relationship out there and you're watching this, try to shut up. Say a yes or a no, and then create that silence, that space of, yeah, you are correct. When you say you are correct and then you be silence, it might contribute to 90% of the relationships out there. And when I say it contribute, it will give you clarity. It will change. That guy might leave you or it will turn into a great relationship. But at least that self-torture is over.
Yeah, yeah, that is very true. That self-torture of, my God, how can he talk to me like that? Or, oh my God, I
Yes.
have to
Yes.
justify myself.
No.
That either it's both of them don't really work because you're constantly head tripping of what is the next right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't contribute. And that's something that you said is so beautiful, dear, that we don't shut up. Like, when we just gotta shut up.
Yeah,
Like,
shut up.
yeah, I think that's one of the greatest tools in relationship. Just shut up.
Yeah.
There are times you don't need to fill the space up with words and just be.
Yeah. And saying less always creates more because
Yeah.
you being an energy doesn't require words. You can just say yes or no. You can say, hey,
Yeah.
that doesn't work for me. And if someone is mean, I had a guy, he had a girlfriend and they were about to get married and she always wanted him to be successful. She always judged him for not being enough. And then obviously he was gaining weight and she said, you just lost your job and now you're getting fat. And I told him, well, just tell her, hey, you don't talk to me like that. If you don't stop judging me, this relationship is over. And I told him, say it. If you don't stop judging me, this relationship is over. And then shut up and don't shout. Say it as calm as possible. But be the energy of, hey, stop that. Fun is over, You don't have to always react or say, okay, you are correct. No, if someone crosses your line, or is really mean, especially with your body or your looks,
Yeah.
you can be that killing energy. Killing energy doesn't mean that you shout loud. It means that you mean it as it is. And if you then go, okay, hey, if you don't stop that, this relationship is over. Boom, stop, full stop, shut up. That will create huge change. Because people, they can be as unconscious as they can probably be, but people sense the energy, especially the killing energy.
Yeah.
And killing energy is not shouting, it's being precise, going, hey, stop that, but this relationship is over.
Yeah.
And then shut
So
up.
is killing energy is killing energy also part of having benevolence in a relationship?
Of course. Benevolence doesn't mean you're good, okay? Benevolence doesn't mean charity. Benevolence doesn't mean it's all about good. Benevolence means you do what works for you and you're wishing well for everyone else. But you have to start with yourself. And killing energy is making a statement without a judgment. So when you tell that person, stop it, You want to stop it, but you don't add on how bad this person is and how dare you and why are you judging me. You stop analyzing that person and making him wrong for his choice. You just say stop.
Yeah.
And then that's benevolent because you are kind to yourself. I mean, if
Yeah.
you hold your hand above a candle, you will burn your hand. It hurts.
Yes.
And this is why you blow it out to stop the hurting. And that's
Yeah.
killing energy. Blow it out. Like blowing out the candle. That's the killing energy. Stop that. It hurts.
Yeah.
And that's benevolent because you're kind to yourself and you are wishing well for everyone involved. Because that person who is constantly mean to you obviously requires some change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
So
the
David, that's
benevolent part.
right. So David, we say this thing called, do what works for you. That's something that we say very often, and
Yes.
we use. So, but when we say do what works for you, there is an iota of chances that we go into conclusions.
Yes, because normally you want to find out what works for you. I would actually say be what works for you. So don't stop what doesn't work, choose what works in the moment, choosing in 10-second increments. And what I always do is ask this, I call it the magical question. If I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? I mean,
Yeah.
these people, please get this, okay? This is the magical question. You cannot make a wrong choice. You cannot live or act against you if you function from this question. If I
Yeah.
choose this, what will my be like in 5 years? And if I don't,
Yeah.
so expanding that out into 5 years gets you out of this reaction, because you are only, when you react, you're fighting a current situation, the moment. You live in the moment, which is beautiful. But if you want to create a sustainable, benevolent life and living, you have to be aware of the future you are creating. And with this magical question, hey, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? You get the energy and you will exactly know what action to take and what choice to make.
Yeah.
It's magic. Be that.
Yeah, it truly is. So I have been playing with this question a lot since
Yes.
the CF of Costa Rica, and it's been such a brilliant. It just creates space. It gets you out of your head and gets you out of linearity of A plus B is equal to C. Like, okay, if I do this, then this, and then this, and then this.
Yeah,
So it just gets you out of that space, and it always creates space. And you do it if it's light, and if it's not, then you don't do it, and that's that.
exactly. Exactly. It's beautiful. Try it out and play with it. And hey,
Yes.
if you make a choice and it doesn't really work for you, well, then make another choice.
Yeah.
Okay? Life is
Yeah.
about choosing. It's a chain of choices. Life is not a one-off choice. Okay? That one life where you make that one choice and then everything will be fine and harmony, that doesn't exist. Life is way too diverse and crazy. 10-second
Yeah.
increments. Every 10 seconds, you go, okay, does that work? Is that fun? Where is it?
Yeah.
Be that curious child and wow,
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
and enjoy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, David, if there's anybody who's watching us right now or in the future, if there are three tools that they could use to, create and actually be benevolence in relationship with themselves and with others, what would that be?
Well, the first tool always is clarify. Ask for clarity. Okay, so what energy, space, conscience, and choice can me and my body be to have total clarity with this? When you ask for clarity, you can never get a wrong answer because you will know where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second tool is please never try to change someone. Okay, speak less and be more. Or in other words, shut up.
Oh my God, that's my favorite in this episode. Shut
Shut
up.
up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up, okay?
Yeah.
And try that, okay? Try to say less and be more. And the third tool is please be in question, okay? Always function from question.
Yeah.
if you answer from question, you will thrive through your relationship. And the one great question before we end this, ask the question, so what can I do and be different here to change it? If you ask for what can I do and be different to change this, you make nothing wrong. You don't ask for greater, better. No, ask for different. What can I do and be different? Because different is just different. It has no judgment. That's the beauty. That's my favorite word. Let's do this different. Because you don't make anyone wrong. You don't make yourself wrong. Let's just try something different. And it has this curiosity of, okay, different. Let's see what that creates.
Yeah.
So different doesn't make anything wrong, doesn't make anyone wrong. And it adds this curiosity, which is an amazing element of creation. Curiosity. Invite more curiosity to your life. And the question, what can I do different here?
Yeah.
Is all of that.
Yeah. That is so true. Because when we say greater, that means what we have right now, there's something wrong with it, or it's less than what we can actually have. And we're judging it instead of actually being grateful for what we already have.
Yes, with asking
And
for different.
Yeah, it's not right, it's not wrong, it's just different.
Just different.
So,
So play with these questions and start enjoying what you have and who you are. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, David, for this beautiful conversation. I know because of the whole internet bit, we had to cut short the conversation, but I'd love to have you on another episode and have a longer conversation with you.
We will, my dear. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
See you guys next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.